Welcome back to our study of the study guide for Strange New World. We're in chapter 2. So we're going to go through questions 6 through 8. So reading from the book, page 34 to 35. Rousseau locates identity in the inner psychological self of the individual. Feelings for Rousseau are central to who we are. And second, he sees society, or perhaps better, culture, as exerting a corrupting influence on the self, to the extent that society prevents us from acting consistently with our feelings. To that extent, it prevents us from being who we really are. In short, society makes us inauthentic. Question 6. How much of your own identity is wrapped up with how you feel? Again, how much of your own identity is wrapped up in how much you feel? A lot. None of us can get away from it. None of us. It's like if you're unemployed, you think about that and you feel that a lot, and it does affect your identity. It makes you start to question things in your life. A lot of men, including myself, we have imposter syndrome, where we know or feel at least that someone's going to figure out that we're not as good as we pretend to be. Now, reality is most people already know this. It's just we build up ourselves in our own mind that we're grander or greater than we are, and that someone's going to figure it out. Someone's going to find out. Again, that's that imposter syndrome. So I feel like that I'm not accomplishing what I could, and that affects my mood and self-image. Again, all of us feel this way to a certain extent. The only way really sometimes not to is to set no goals in your life. If you set every goal that you've ever set for yourself and then accomplish it, congrats, you have an amazing self-image, but you're probably actually not accomplishing much. It's one of those, it's like a double-edged sword. It's like, if you accomplish every goal that you set for yourself, then you're probably not setting very high or good goals. And so it's like you're never going to actually achieve greatness in your life. On the other side, if you're setting great goals and you're never achieving them, then you're starting to feel like a failure your entire life. But you're achieving greater goals. So it's one of those ironic things where it's like, maybe at the end of the day, they balance each other out. But a lot of times the person who strives for great goals and never achieves them ends up higher than the person who strove for mediocre goals and achieved every single one of them. Again, but this is about feelings. How do your feelings affect your self-image or your identity? And they're integral. They're integral, but you need to be able to separate them. Question 7. Is it wrong to see feelings as important? Hopefully you know my answer is no. It is not wrong. Feelings are important, but we are not our feelings. That's really the key difference. Is feelings are important, but you are not your feeling. You can feel like you're an imposter, but that doesn't mean you are an imposter. Again, your feelings are not who you are. Rousseau and the Romantics, they want to say, no, your inner feelings, that is who you truly are. That's who you truly are. People say this about people who drink. As they drink, the true selves come out. Maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know. But again, it's that whole idea of that your true self, your inner self is the real you. It's your feelings. That's the real you. I was like, no, they're important, but you are not your feelings. Your feelings can be affected by the weather. So let's go ahead and remember that. Feelings oftentimes can tell us what is wrong. So you can trace them, but you don't follow them. Again, it's like, so again, I think I did this particular thing. I heard a podcast or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's kind of an interesting way. It's like, oh, you've heard for years, don't follow your feelings, don't follow your feelings, don't follow your feelings. And he goes, actually, follow your feelings, but follow them biblically. Follow them like instead of following them, I guess it's like trace them. Follow them as if you were a private investigator and you were trying to see what's going, of why this person's hiding something. Follow them like that. Trace them to their source. And then when you find the source, a lot of times you can realize, oh, this is just imposter syndrome. I actually am great. Yeah. So again, follow your feelings, but follow them the way a private investigator would, to find out why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Sometimes it's going to lead you to realize that, no, that's something you don't need to feel bad about. Other times it's going to lead you right to the cross. And that's where you fall on your knees and you ask Christ to forgive you for your sins. Question 8. How might society be responsible for corrupting us? So, current society, it tells us that our feelings are who we are and that the answers are inside us. Follow your heart because it is uncorrupted. Again, that's the opposite of what I just said. I said follow your heart, but follow it the way a private investigator would. They're saying follow your heart because your heart's the only thing that's not corrupted. Your mind's corrupted. You've been programmed by your parents. You've been programmed by all these things. You have to follow your heart because that's the uncorrupted thing. Again, follow your heart, but follow it like a private investigator. And again, society currently does tell us that our feelings are who we are. And so current society is saying, be an expressive individual. Be authentic. Throw away tradition. Throw away all these things that have been holding you back from living the accomplished life. That's what society is telling you to do. Current society. Previous societies were about squashing down the individual. And so you see how the Rousseaus and the Romantics, they were pushing back against their culture that was squashing down any form of individuality, trying to keep the plebes or whatever down on their level, not letting them rise up and become CEOs or whatever. Society's gone the opposite direction now. And that's, again, technology has allowed some of this to start to happen. And so let's go ahead and it's like, we're going to follow our heart, but let's not follow our heart the way the culture does.